So welcome everyone to the online launch webinar for Fellowship Program 2026. I've started with a little bit of welcoming and housekeeping, and after that we'll start with the introduction to the SSI and the Fellowship Program, followed by some fellowship experiences by Jez, Debs, and Yo. And after that there will be plenty of time for question and answers. If you have any questions or issues, please put them in the chat and we'll do our best to resolve them. So the Software Sustainability Institute, or the SSI as we often call it, the SSI, was founded in 2010 as the first organization in the world dedicated to improving software and research. It was founded on the premise that helping individuals and institutions understand the vital role that software plays in research would accelerate progress in every field of scientific and academic endeavor. Over the years, the Institute has advocated for and developed an understanding of the fundamental importance of research software, its developers and users, its requirements, and how software advances research in the UK. And the SSI prides itself on being innovative, highly collaborative, and determined to tackle even the most difficult problems. And we work across disciplines and people within communities who can make changes. Over time, the SSI is focused on scalable projects, but large or small, big or small, that make a big impact. And we are deeply committed to promoting equality, diversity, inclusivity, and accessibility in everything we do. The SSI is a partnership of 3 UK universities. So Edinburgh, led by EPCC, Manchester, where I am based, and University of Manchester, and Southampton. And in its current phase, we're now in the SSI 4, fourth phase, it is supported by the UKRI through the Digital Research Infrastructure Programme. At the SSI, we've got 5 key teams working to advance research software. First, there's the community team, where I sit and the fellowship program sits, which supports, establishes, and maintains so-called communities of practice, connecting the right people to address key issues in research software and exchanging best practices and ideas and knowledge. Then there's the training and software team, which focuses on developing reliable, reproducible, and reusable software and delivering essential training to researchers. And then there's also the policy and research team, which gathers evidence to promote the role of software in research and shares insights with stakeholders to shape policy. And then there's the events team, which brings the community together through events like the collaboration workshop, which is our yearly annual event. And if you are selected for the fellowship program, you will be supported to go to that. And research software camps, which will happen in November and are free to everyone. So please keep an eye on that on our website as well. There's lots of great training and sessions coming up for that. And these all promote knowledge exchange and collaboration. And at the center of this is the communications team, which leverages our platform to enable engagement, delivery, and uptake of our activities, while also amplifying the good work of others. So just on a general note, it's important that the SSI also promotes everything that happens within this space. So if you organize something in the world of research software, you want to promote that, please do not hesitate to contact us. We're always happy to work with you and promote whatever you are doing. Now, the fellowship program. The fellowship program is designed, and I quote, to improve and promote good computational practice across all research disciplines and support those who are doing this important work. And the fellowship program consists of 4 key elements. First, there is financial support. So each fellow receives £4,000 to fund activities such as workshops, training, and conferences, whether they're organizing or attending. And for those who have completed their initial fellowship period, we offer the Further Development Fund, which provides additional support to continue the impact of their work and professional development. Next, we have our mentorship program, which we launched for the first time officially in a structured way this year, in support with OLS, and we're very happy with that, where every fellow is paired with a mentor, helping them refine their fellowship plans, navigate career pathways, and develop their leadership skills. This support makes sure that the fellows can maximize the opportunities available to them. And I should point out that most of the fellows here are existing, most of the mentors are existing fellows. Then a key part of the fellowship experience is engagement with the SSI community and its events. Fellows are invited to take part in monthly All Fellows community calls, study groups, and discussions on Slack. They also receive support to participate in our most important events, such as the annual collaboration workshop, which I mentioned, and software camps, where they can network, exchange, and collaborate with others in the field. And finally, this year we've experimented with some cohort-based learning, and we will continue that for the next cohort as well, where fellows have the opportunity to organize and participate in peer-led initiatives, fostering collaboration, skill sharing, knowledge exchange in a supportive environment. Some of the things that we've worked on is how to run an inclusive event, how to do community building, and we're going to have some workshops on podcasting and surveys as well. But this is experimental, but we will continue that next year as well. Now, the eligibility criteria for the fellowship program. In terms of criteria, the fellowship program is open to individuals at all career stages, from PhD students and junior professionals to mid-career researchers, professors, and RSE leaders. Fellows can also be from non-academic backgrounds, including professional services roles supporting training, research, or infrastructure. And no formal qualifications in software development or software engineering are required. For the UK fellowship, applicants must be based in the UK or affiliated with a UK institution or office. And for the international fellowship, applicants outside the UK should demonstrate how your plans foster international collaboration or how the UK research culture benefits from your unique perspective and/or techniques. And you can view the full shortlisting criteria on the fellowship program website. And I really encourage you to click on how to become a fellow after the fellowship program website. We've put all the information there. So all the criteria, all the assessment criteria, preview of the application form, everything you would want, and everything we do is completely open and transparent, and you can have a look at it there. So, what are we looking for in applicants? First and foremost, we are looking for a passion for software in research. And additionally, you could be a researcher who uses and/or develops software or digital tools. You can be a developer who writes for researchers, a research software engineer who contributes to the work of researchers with software or by maintaining digital research infrastructure. You can be an advocate for best practice in software use or development in research, an individual holding a leadership role in research project or research organizations that make heavy use of software, or you can just be a user of research software. Potential fellowship activities include community engagement, so contributing to and helping form communities of practice in research software, training, running domain-specific training workshops such as software carpentry or other tailored workshops, event organization, so organizing events to address domain-specific problems like workshops, get people together in the same room, conference participation, if you want to go somewhere to attend a conference to promote your work or raise awareness about what you care about or research software issues. Community feedback, so a lot of surveys in that sense. We've got fellows doing that kind of work, providing feedback on software use and needs within their communities, and policy and research, so engaging in policy initiatives to better understand computational practices, and collaboration with funders, so working with funders to influence software-related policies. And that's also where the SSI can have that mediating role, where you come in, you raise the issues, and we pass them on to our funders, say, this is important, or get you in touch in front of them. Here are some of the examples of fellowship activities, but I should say this is a very short selection, and I really, really encourage you to go to our website and check out the profiles of our fellows. You will find a link on that on the fellowship program page. There's also a blog post introducing the 2025 fellows, where you can see all their plans and what they're trying to do. But the scope is really broad, really wide. But this is just a sample of some of the things that we do. So in terms of requirements and expectations from our side, the program requires about 8 days a year to engage in win-win activities. So that's what we think about is needed to participate in the fellowship program over this 15-month period. So the fellowship program starts in January 2026 until March 2027. And furthermore, we ask that you write a blog post for each supported activity, which is really nice way of to sort of getting your work out there and the things you've done. We ask you to attend the Fellows 2026 inaugural meeting, which takes place online. That's a full day of just getting you up to speed with everything. It's really great to get to know everyone else. And there's the midterm check-ins. They used to be called reviews. They're now called check-ins, because we're really not there to judge you on your progress or things like that. But it's part of just checking everything is going well and you have all the support you need. Then you also have an opportunity to attend the Collaboration Workshop 2026. I'm still not sure if I can officially announce where it is, but I know, and it is very exciting. So, but anyway, we will fully fund your trip there. That doesn't come out of your fellowship budget, your £4,000. It's funded elsewhere. It's a really great opportunity to get to know each other and all the fellowship program and everyone in the research software community. Then there are monthly SSI Fellows community calls that we ask you to sort of participate in as well. And there are optional study groups, working groups, a lot of things, and people go off and do their own projects and things like that. And then at the end, we also take part in a final survey in the fellowship program, how it was, and that's aimed at sort of improving it for the next cohort. Now, some of the self-reported benefits by fellows and sort of, why would you apply to the fellowship program? What do we offer in return? So according to previous fellows, there were four main benefits. And there is an article on our website, and there's an article coming out soon about these benefits. So they are sort of self-reported there. This is not us saying this is what it is. This is self-reported. First, status. Becoming a fellow enhanced individual status, recognition, and collaboration appeal while raising their department's profile. So you get that status within your department, and suddenly people are like, hey, wait, that person got that. It seems like they know a lot. Let's get them some more status. Then there's professional development. So the fellowship program advances careers through job opportunities, skill enhancement, network, and increased visibility. There's also community and networking. So the fellowship offered to a lot of fellows networking, community building opportunities, advancing careers, fostering collaboration, promoting sustainability across institutions. And finally, resources. Fellows primarily use the funds to attend conferences, organize events, run training sessions, and initiate new projects. And these kind of things, this money you get is not just like a 4,000 research pot of money that you get in your bank account. This comes with administrative support, which means we've got great people like our finance team, like Kathleen and Sahil, who will do all the admin stuff for you if you're organizing events or you're going somewhere. So that's really valuable. Then in terms of just general to give an impression of acceptance rates, what generally this is, here's an overview of the application rate. So in general, we receive between 60 and 80 applications each year, of which around 30 plus are shortlisted and 20 selected. You can see last year we had a higher number of that because the previous year we didn't run the fellowship program, so there were a bit more there. It depends a little bit on the numbers. We'll see how it goes this year, but I can imagine between 20 and 25 fellows will be selected, and that includes up to 3, maybe 4 international applicants as well. If you have any questions about if you're considered an international or UK applicant, please do not hesitate to contact us. There's not a black and white. There's a lot of gray area there where we can help you as well. Then in terms of gender representation, you can see that there is a good sort of, in the selected fellows, a good spread of gender. You can see through the application process that women tend to do a little bit better. So we start off with a lot of men, and women tend to do a bit better. But we really encourage people from all backgrounds to apply, especially non-binary, which the information there isn't complete. So you can see it's starting, or preferred not to disclose non-binary, but that's when we started recording that information. Then in terms of ethnicity, this is me holding my hands up and say it's not where we want to be, but we're working hard to improve the diversity of this program. So please do not be discouraged by this overly sort of representation of white ethnic group here. We are really hard and really keen to improve the diversity of the fellowship program, and we're offering a lot of additional support there as well. So if you have any questions or any support, please let us know. We're happy to provide that. Then when it comes to career stages, there's a relatively nice spread as well, although many of our fellows are sort of, you can see mid to later career. And we would really encourage also junior and early career applicants to apply, because we know from experience they will benefit a lot from the fellowship program. And additionally, we'd also encourage those in more experienced roles to apply, because they have a lot of influence when it comes to policy and getting better research practices enacted in their domains and institutions. So the top and the bottom of that thing is where we want to have a bit more equal spread. Then backgrounds, general backgrounds, disciplinary backgrounds. You can see we get the majority of applications from mathematical sciences, engineering, technology, biological science, physical science, and computer sciences. However, we are very keen to support fellows from other backgrounds, and the other group is mostly applications from arts and humanities, but we welcome applications from all fields and backgrounds, as we believe the fellowship program has the greatest impact in disciplines and organizations that were previously underrepresented in the program. So please don't be discouraged from applying. If you're not sure, I'd advise again to have a look at the profiles of previous fellows on our site and see the broad range of people and plans we have previously supported. Now, that was a lot of talking, and we'll come to the application process. So we'll take a little second. There's a lot of information, but we're really keen, and as you will sort of learn more about the SSI and the fellowship program, we're very keen on transparency. So that's why we're sharing all this information. And there's a lot of information on our website as well on what we do and how we do things. The application process. So the main part of the application is a 6-minute, and that's maximum 6 minutes, voiceover of a slide presentation, screencast, and reviewers will base the bulk of their decision on that for the shortlisting. What this means is that you will make a slide presentation and record yourself speaking over it. We have provided guidance on our website for how to do this with tips and tricks on both content and technical aspects. This application guide also contains links to previous screencasts of successful applicants available on YouTube. So I would really encourage you to have a look at that. So that's on the fellowship program, and you click on how to become a fellow, you go down, and there's a video application guide. Really useful to check that out. We suggest about 1 minute describing who you are professionally, 1 minute describing what you do, and about 4 minutes describing your plans for the fellowship. Although you may decide to spend more time on any section, that's up to you. If a video application is not possible or accessible for you, for example, due to disability, economic reasons, lack of equipment, or even if you just prefer to submit it in that way, I should stress it is possible to write a written application as well, submit it. We will accept that as well. The written application should include the same information as above, approximately 800 to 1,000 words, and include a brief justification why you want to submit a written application. If an alternative application would be better suited to your accessibility requirements, please do not hesitate to contact us at fellowsmanagement@software.ac.uk. Now here is something I'm very happy and very proud of that we've got this in place. Application support. Really encourage you to make use of this. We've got no less than 19 current fellows offering application support. What that means in practice is that if you have an idea and you're not quite sure if it fits, or you want to get a little bit of feedback on your application, you can email fellowsmanagement@software.ac.uk with just a few lines of what your plans are, and we will match you with one of these fellows to provide some feedback on your application. Very useful, super useful, and it really is based on some of the feedback we got from reviewers who go through the application process and look at an application and think, oh, did they just make this little tweak, it would be really great. So really make use of that. They're all brilliant and they're all very supportive. I should also mention here that I personally don't mark any applications also, just to remove myself from that process. I do oversee the application process and the selection process, but I can also provide support for people with their applications. So multiple ways of doing that. We're also going to organize a few Ask Me Anything sessions following this launch webinar. So keep an eye on our social media and our website for those, where you can just turn up and have a chat. But we will announce the exact dates and registration for that soon. Now, shortlisting criteria. During shortlisting, which is the first part of this, your application will be assessed based on ambassadorship, this is 30%, and your plans for the fellowship, which is 70%. In terms of ambassadorship, we assess you if you have a clear link to research software or the research software community, if you have any experience advocating, organizing, or participating in activities to improve research or computational practice in your area, and if you are a clear and effective communicator. I should mention here that within the fellowship program, we're focused on like a growth mindset. So these are things, if you're not fully confident or versed in that, that's absolutely fine. The fellowship program is there to get you there and to, at the end, become recognized as ambassador of good practice. When it comes to the fellowship plans, we look if the plans demonstrate an understanding of the bigger picture and vision for improving computational practice in their area of work, and if they articulate potential solutions as part of their plans for the fellowship and how or why their methodology will have an impact. We will also look if the plans are SMART, and that means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So you can be ambitious, which is great. We always love to see ambitious plans, but also realistic is a good part of that, because there is a limited time and a limited budget. Now, after shortlisting, if people are shortlisted, which will be announced around mid-November, if you're shortlisted, you'll be invited to the online selection day, which is a full day of group activities where candidates will be assessed on how they contribute to a session, so collaboration and communication skills, and what they contribute to a session, so discussion or event planning contributions. And this is really our version of an interview, but you'll do these activities and you'll be observed during those. The online selection day will take place on Friday, the 14th of November, 2025, from 10:30 till 4 GMT time. We will provide breaks throughout, so don't worry, you won't be in there for all that time. And in the past, people have really said that they enjoyed this, which was strange as a sort of interview thing that they enjoyed. But I ask everyone, if you are submitting an application, to already save that date. If you can't make that date, please let us know. We will organize an alternative online selection day for those who can't make it for whatever reason. But please, if you can, try and already reserve that date in your schedules. Then the final selection of fellows will be made based on the combined assessment of the candidate's performance during the online selection day and the fellowship plans proposed in the screencast applications. Then here are sort of the dates that hopefully people are aware of. So applications have opened, and we have received our first application. So someone was very keen and well prepared. On the first day, I saw an application come in. Today is the launch webinar, and applications close on the 6th of October. Shortlist confirmed beginning of November, and then the online selection day is 14th of November. And then 11th December will publicly announce the fellowships, and then you will start in January 2026 until March 27. Some links here, I'll share them in the chat later, but it is the fellowship program page and the application page. Again, I can't stress it enough. There's a lot of information there. If you are still missing some information, if you still have any questions, please email us. We're very happy to answer that, and keep an eye on our website and a newsletter for announcement of the Ask Me Anything sessions. There is the application video guide, including links to screencasts of previous fellows. So again, I encourage you to have a look at that. Really important and useful, and kindly made available by our current fellows. Oh, no, that's good. Don't want to do this. It is time for me to stop. We can listen to some other people. So thank you very much. There was a lot of information. Again, this seminar will be recorded and we will share it on YouTube if you want to look it back. The slides will also be shared, and all the information I've talked you through here is also available on our website, where you can go through it at your own leisurely pace. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. As I said, that's enough from my side. I'm very keen and very grateful that we have some of our fellows talking about their experience of the fellowship program. So without further ado, I'll stop sharing my screen, and I'll give the word to Jess.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jess Cope. I am a fellow of the 2020 cohort. I used to joke that it was the cohort that never ended, but stopped because it wasn't really funny, and now it's ended. So anyway, I think if there's one thing that I want you to take away from my experience, it's that it's not necessary to have a straightforward path to and through the fellowship. So, as I mentioned, SSI Fellow 2020 cohort. I'm currently Data Services Lead at the British Library, which I have been since 2018. But I've been doing research data management in universities for the last 15 years or so. And before that, I did a 4-year taught masters in computer science and maths. So yeah, like, seems like I'm an obvious fit for the fellowship, maybe. The first time. So I can't even remember exactly which year it was, but I applied for the fellowship in 2015, 2016. From the slides we've just seen from Oscar, turns out that was a really competitive year. I did get through to the assessment day, so obviously I did something right. Had a brilliant time at the assessment day, met a lot of lovely people, had a lot of really interesting discussions, but I wasn't selected that year. At the end of the day, I think I didn't fully. So I was very focused on kind of the project itself, which again I can't actually remember what I proposed that first time round, so it can't have been that great. But still, I was very focused on that and less focused on kind of the broader purpose and criteria of the fellowship. So I kind of moved on, left that behind, got a new job. Then in 2018, I was asked by one of the 2019 fellows to be a mentor for them. And one, that was a great experience. And two, it got me thinking about doing that again. So I tried again, 2019. Had new ideas, had more experience. Some of that experience was just from being unsuccessful the first time. Also, there were some changes in the assessment process. It had moved to entirely online at that point. The criteria were made a lot clearer. Plus, I'd talked to some people about things and I understood a bit more how to put in a balanced application rather than just focusing on, I'm going to do a really great thing. And it worked this time I got in. So the project I applied with was to build a data science community within the British Library. We were going to have regular in-person meetings. We were going to have peer support structures, guest speakers. And once it was kind of established and proved at that scale, maybe after 6 to 9 months, start to expand it out to other GLAM, gallery, library, archive, museum sector in the UK. Great. Guess what happened next? Yeah, pandemic. Yeah, that was interesting. It wasn't what was intended at all. So all of the in-person ideas just kind of went totally out of the window. Back to the drawing board, take a breath, have a think. Okay, so pivoted the whole thing to being online only. That worked pretty well because everyone was just pivoting everything to online. So everyone was kind of expecting and kind of used to the idea by sort of mid 2020, all meetings being online. Switched from the local focus to the broader focus first, because there was going to need, that was what was going to be needed to get sort of the enough people to make the whole thing work, and focused on informal discussion, just talking about what we've done, sharing ideas, encouraging each other, generally supporting each other, because that's another thing that we all kind of needed in the pandemic. So it became the GLAM Data Science Network. I'm trying not to get distracted by the chat. Sorry, everyone. We held monthly online meetings throughout 2020. We had loads of interesting discussions. And I think one of the things I took away from it was there was a clear interest from the community nationally and internationally in taking this further. And so by mid 2021, we did a community survey to kind of go, okay, coming towards the end of my funded period, what we're going to do next. I think we all remember, we all had different experiences of the pandemic, but I think for a lot of us, it wasn't how we would have liked things to be. My mental health wasn't great. I was completely burned out from work. I also learned I was autistic. That's great. That might give you a few hints as to why I didn't fully understand the criteria the first time round. That's one of the reasons that the criteria have been made a lot clearer. That's great. That third point isn't a negative, by the way. I don't see it that way. Did have massive amounts of support from all of my fellows. It's such a lovely supportive community. I started up the community building study group in 2020, which has been taken up enthusiastically and goes from strength to strength now. And still plenty of opportunities that I wouldn't otherwise have had, especially being able to go to the collaborations workshop every year since 2020, which is amazing. On a very practical level, I learned quite a bit about community building and what I did right and what I did wrong. And also that shit happens. Sorry, Oscar, am I allowed to swear? You're going to have to cut that out of the recording before you publish it. I realised that maybe I could have actually stuck to my guns, stuck to my original timescale rather than letting things drift. But, you know, things happen. So, if you don't think your idea is great, try it anyway. There's plenty of us willing to talk to you and help you discuss it and sort of help you frame it in terms of the goals. If you don't succeed, try again. It's worth it. If your project doesn't how you intended, that's okay. Try something different. That's cool. If your project isn't a success according to whatever criteria you personally set out from the start, you can still do a lot of good. I genuinely feel that I brought a lot of value to the SSI and the community and the other fellows, even though I didn't achieve half the things I set out to. And I learned a lot. And as Oscar mentioned, once a fellow, always a fellow. It was worth it for that. Thanks very much. I will stop blithering now because I've probably gone way over my time. And what are we doing? Are we doing like questions now? Or am I handing straight over to Yo?
We can have a few quick questions before we go to Debs. Yep. So no questions.
That either means I was so boring everyone turned off, or I covered everything everyone possibly wanted to know.
No, people are saying that it's very inspiring, and yeah, no, I can just echo your comment that some of the fellows in their plans or in their initial year things might not go the way they imagine, but they still find other ways to contribute to the SSI and remain active after their inaugural year, and I can say, yeah, Jess, you're a very important aspect of the fellows. Widely loved. Oh yeah. Yeah. If there are no any other questions, I think we'll move on to Debs. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A in the Slido or in the chat, and we can come back to them later on. But now I'll give the word to Debs, 2025 fellow. Yes.
Thank you, Oscar. And I think I bought some time from Jez and I promised to use the extra 2 minutes for myself. Greedy. Hi, everyone. I'm Deborah Udo, or just Debs. I am a 2025 fellow, as Oscar rightly mentioned, which means we're the trending topic. Oh my God, why did I say that? Yeah, so my background is actually in healthcare. I'm a nurse and a midwife. And if that's not enough to convince you that you can become a fellow from whatever background, I don't know what else will. I'm also the community manager and RSC for an organization UK based named OLS, where we teach open science skills and do a lot of capacity building work. I will explain in a few short moments how I got to be executive director of a project called Precedes Research 101. So when I heard about the SSI fellowship project, kind of like everybody else, I came up with 1,000 reasons why I was not qualified. I was too early in my career. My project wasn't fully fleshed out. It didn't make much sense at the moment. But as Jez mentioned, it's a really supportive community, the kind that supports you even when you're not part of the SSI fellowship community. And so I reached out to one of them, Sarah Gibson, who isn't here today. Love you, Sarah. And she talked me through my project and how to get it ready for submission, and was the first person who actually believed that the project was good enough for an SSI application. And what is this great project? Okay. It is called Precedes. It's a beginner research curriculum. Well, it was supposed to be just a curriculum. I will tell you how it has evolved. And it's supposed to teach foundational research skills to a diverse group, but mainly targeted to underrepresented groups in research. And it's also a useful tool for research software engineers who have come from non-traditional, non-academic backgrounds. And so this is what my project timeline looked like in the first 3 months. The plan was to take the carpentry's lessons, collaborative lessons development training, and go on to develop the modules, pilot them, and then expand. Most of these have actually happened. And as you listen, I want you to actually pay attention, not to the accomplishments of the project, but how those accomplishments were made possible by the support of the SSI Fellowship. So where are we now? On Earth, of course. But as a project, we were able to meet our month 1 to 3 goals. We took the collaborative lessons development training. Even though it cost a fortune, we were able to attend the training because of the support of the SSI and the carpentries. And within the 4th to 6th month, we have a shiny place to host our curriculum. And this is the first module, episodes 1 to 6. By the way, we would need to build a website from scratch if we didn't have the carpentries to host our project. And within the 4th to 6th month, we also got the opportunity to test out the materials that we had created with the pilot workshop. But our pilot members were people who could not afford to connect to a pilot workshop for 2 days over the time period. And so the SSI's support made it possible for us to offer data support and bursaries to the members who joined the project. And so for months 7 to 10, the goal was to expand the reach of the project and now build a community around it. Remember how I mentioned that this started out as a curriculum, but we're slowly shifting our aim towards building a community of contributors who will deliver the materials and maintain the course more long term. So let's talk conferences. The first one. This is the Collaborations Workshop 2025, which hopefully, if you get selected, you will be at 2026, and we can hug if you're into that. So the SSI actually funds fellows to attend the Collaborations Workshop, and this is a very good avenue to present your project. As you rightly see, I got the chance to present pre-seeds through a lightning talk. This would otherwise be impossible without their support. And very recently, last week, we presented about pre-seeds at a local conference in Lagos, Nigeria. And this whole enterprise was funded as part of my fellowship project. On the left, you see a collaborator of the project. This isn't just a picture. It's amazing how something that was just an idea in my head has become a vision that someone else can stand on a stage to boldly and confidently talk about. So that was that was amazing to see. Yeah, so this is me at the Women in Open Source panel of Oscar Fest 2025 just last week. And we have stickers now. Come to RSCCon and you get one. And it still gets much better. As I mentioned, we're building a community, and one of the accomplishments that we've had in the last 7 months was establishing a governance committee and an advisory committee, which we will reveal on our LinkedIn page soon. This is a cheap avenue to say, please scan the QR code and follow us on LinkedIn. And yeah, so the best part, this will sound a lot like jazz, but the best part about the SSI fellowship is actually the people. And so in the SSI community, I have found a group of people who genuinely care about you beyond your fellowship status. They do care about you as a human being. To the left is my Kathleen, who graciously picked me up from the airport in May, took me to her residence, and shared a train ride with me to collaborations workshop. And in the middle, you will find my SSI mentor, Alexandra Konovalov, who is in here today. He orchestrated, I say orchestrated because a lot went into it. He orchestrated an opportunity for me to come speak at the University of St. Andrews, where he works. And that's picture evidence to show you it happened. And I'd also like to take a moment to thank Sarah Gibson for believing in the project early enough and convincing me that I was good enough to apply. And for Sohail, who may or may not have carried mine and Kathleen's bag in his car to collaborations workshop and has been such a huge help in claiming finance expenses. And Oscar. Okay, I will write an entire blog post to talk about Oscar, but I would like to say a big thank you to Oscar for always being on call to answer questions about the fellowship and do a lot of heavy lifting with external stakeholders on my behalf. And thank Lindsay Ballantyne for being a gracious and warm and kind person. And to the entire SSI community, thank you. Thank you very much. It sounds like I'm leaving. I'm not. I'm still here. Okay. So all of this is just to say that go away. In the SSI, you will find real friends, you will find networks, and you will have all the support that you need to do the work that you care about. And yeah, if I could get in with my nursing background, yeah, you can do so much more. As Jess mentioned, please reach out to me on LinkedIn or anywhere else for all the questions. I'm happy to chat. Okay, bye. Stop sharing.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Debs. That was a lovely presentation. Yeah, you are not going anywhere. You are now part of us, and once a fellow, always a fellow is not a promise. It's also a I won't, no, no, I won't call it a threat. Thank you very much. Just for the sake of time, I think we can move on to Yo. If there are any questions, I'm sure Deb will welcome them. You can put them in the chat or others. Oh yeah, it's Social Clue Award she won at the Collaborations 2025. So yeah, no, that's really a really important part of our fellows community. I would like to pass the word now to Yo. Yo, would you like to start sharing?
All right, are you ready for it? I've been causing chaos in the chat, and now I'm going to cause chaos on your screen. So I hope you are ready. All right, let's do the share and press the button and do the thing. All right, now we wait politely. What do you mean screen sharing is paused? I swear I am a competent person who has done technical things in my life. Can you see what I hope you see? Does that do advancing? Okay, right. I have because earlier this week I was presenting the same slide the whole way through, and everyone's like, "This isn't right." So it's a relief when it does the thing it's supposed to do. All right, I did not use a picture of Uncle Sam, but I have accidentally evoked it anyway. We want you. Yes, even you. You're not sure? Apply anyway. This is what I will say. So my slides, if you want to reuse them, like they're about me, but they are CC BY, you're welcome to reuse them. There's a DOI on the bottom left that will take you to Zenodo. That actually takes you to last year's slides. Because Zenodo was fighting me this morning and I gave up, I will actually upload the slightly updated version later. Who am I? So, hi, my name is Yo Yehudi. Mi nombre es Johanna en español. עברית, אני מדברת גם עברית, שמי יוחנה. Those are all the languages I speak. I'm sorry if I didn't speak yours. Looking through, I didn't actually see anyone whose name made me think, yeah, they speak Hebrew or Spanish. Although I know Deborah is, especially since I can see you rolling your eyes at me. Uh, okay, in case you haven't been able to figure out from the chat, the fellows, we tend to get along and tease each other a lot, and we're pretty good friends, and it's really, really one of the nice things about being a fellow, I think. So I applied in 2017 to be a 2018 fellow. Before that, I had worked at the University of Cambridge. I started as a software engineer. I was using, this is the beginning to show, datedness. I was using Twitter. And someone said to me, Yo, you use Twitter, right? And next thing you know, 5 years along the line, I'm the community manager as well. Although I didn't have the title of that. But it turns out that being sociable and outgoing, which is really funny, I don't use any social media these days. But being sociable and outgoing means you get assigned to the community manager role. Maybe you actually love it, which is all true. Before that, I've worked in industry for academic spinouts. Prior to that, things like have you turned it off and on again as IT support and sending faxes for the NHS, the UK's health, I don't want to say agency, but the people who make you healthy when you're broken or make you not get not unhealthy before you're broken. Thank you. So that was a picture of roughly what my life looked like before I applied to the SSI. I'm going to fill in that big white space. No, now, there we go. Fill in the big white space. So, after that, things changed quite a lot. Now, I can't say that every single thing that happened to me was because I was selected as a fellow, but I can confidently assert that actually things changed a lot with the network and the support and the experiences that I was able to attend and gain thanks to being a fellow. So I met my NGD supervisor, and if you want to know what an NGD is like, it's a PhD, but it starts with Eng instead. Otherwise, everything was the same. Basically, I did this full time, so it was designed to be done whilst in industry in a research role. And given that I was already working in Cambridge, as a software engineer, I basically did the doctorate whilst I was working as well. I do not really recommend having two full-time roles at once, but it was what I wanted. Other than that, sort of resigned myself to probably saving up money and maybe doing a doctorate once I'd retired, because I knew I wanted to, but I didn't know how I was going to afford it. So finding something that allowed me to work at the same time, being supervised by an SSI fellow who is now Director of Research in the SSI, it was a really good experience, and she's a cool person. Um, I, after that, worked for about a year at the Wellcome Trust, thinking about research funding. And then a dream came true. I was able to get funding for a not-for-profit that I currently co-run alongside another fellow, Patricia Hertrich, and a few other fellows in staff and as non-executive directors. And we've had reasonably large grants from NASA, from the Wellcome Trust, from the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. So my life really did radically change. And I graduated eventually. So I'm actually only doing one job at a time, which much better than the point where I was doing a doctorate, working at Cambridge or at the Wellcome Trust, and also at the point where we'd launched OLS. So I had a third job. Do not recommend, but sometimes you just can't figure out any other way to make the jigsaw work. Um, why is my slide not advancing? Now it's advancing. Okay, doc. Right, so some of the earlier career advantages. For me, a project that I'm not really running anymore, it sort of became a little bit more defunct, maybe, but it was still, for me, relevant experience. And some of the contributors and people I met then, I still work with on a day-to-day basis now. For example, Deb's mentioned Alexandra Konovalov as her mentor. We co-created a lot of work on the Code as Science Manifesto together at Collaborations Workshop in 2018. I was able to self-fund attending the RSCCon, where I met that supervisor I mentioned, and she volunteered to supervise me. And I ran an open data day event, and they paid for catering. And this is stuff that, if you're doing on your own, is really, really hard. Like, Cambridge sounds fancy, but honestly, a salary for an RSC was not great, and I could not have afforded to do catering without the SSI. So it's really helpful. Even though the budget tends to be relatively small, it can stretch a long way depending on what you're doing. Mid and later career advantages. So an honest thing that I would say now is I'm not sure if I would apply for the SSI fellowship right now with what I'm doing in my career. Because grants take a long time, fellowships take a long time. Um, and if I'm spending my time applying for a £4,000 grant, I might not be spending my time applying for a £100,000 grant. That said, I still so strongly believe that you should, even if you think that reasoning makes sense, because the SSI gives you really useful networking. And what's something that Oscar mentioned earlier, the mentorship program in the SSI right now, OLS, the organization that I co-run, is a strategic mentorship partner. So we are now paid to help advise on how to run a mentorship program because that's our bread and butter. That's what we do. It's been really good fun working with Oscar on that. So strategic support, networking, those are a lot of advantages that are definitely recommended, even if you normally would say that's not a lot of money for me these days. There are still career advantages anyway. You'll get ongoing support after the inaugural year. So I'm going to Open Data Camp in Edinburgh later this year, looking at ways to connect civic tech and civic open source and civic data with academics, because honestly, if I write a paper and no one reads it, like a tree, did it even fall? Doesn't matter. But if I can work with people who are working on policy, who are working on civic related things, then that makes a big difference. So I'm hoping to maybe see if we can work more towards policy making when we can, making academic work more practical. And I'm not a fellow, I'm not an inaugural fellow, right? My fellowship was 2018. So it's really nice that the SSI is still paying for this. They also helped us kick off some of the things that we couldn't do early on for OLS. They plant small seeds, they help you water them. You've got to do what you do with those plants that they've been watering, but they provide a resource that you needed. This is my final slide. I love talking to people. I am really, really passionate about how much I love working with the SSI. I'm doing my best, apparently, to conflict of interest myself out of reviewing all the applications. Um, Last year, I posted a calendar link here. And if you've watched Harry Potter right at the start, not that I love the turf, but right at the start, there is a point when all of the males come out the chimney. Hundreds of them, thousands of them. That's what happened when I shared a calendar link here. So I want to talk to you, but I'm not sharing a calendar link because Oscar is going to distribute them so that rather than me having 7 million and other people having 3, it's a little bit more distributed and I have time to eat breakfast. But email me, speak to Oscar, he'll save you, he'll connect you to people. I am very happy to review, to chat, even though, oh, do I fit? Or, oh, I don't like this. Or, I don't know, is this a good idea? All of that. I love talking to you and figuring out what your ideas are like. And I promise to offer constructive feedback and hopefully some nice, friendly feedback as well. The only thing is, if you send something to me 1 day or 2 days before the applications close, I ain't reading it. Give me time. I think that's everything. It is. Alrighty.